write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. It's the verse effect. 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 I write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.
Welcome to another episode of The Verse Effect, the podcast where we examine and explore the lyrics, legacy, and cultural impact of hip-hop's most influential songs. I'm Camille.
And I'm Roderick. Today we're taking it back to 1992 with the explosive debut single from Newark's own Redman, Time for Sumaksion.
Before we begin, a content disclaimer. The track contains explicit lyrics, violent imagery, and drug references. Our analysis will touch on those themes, so listener discretion is advised.
All right, so we got to kick this off with that opening. In this corner, we have the Funk Body Snatcher, P Funkadelic, and I Gotcha. Now, when Redman comes out swinging like that, you can feel the energy, right? He sets himself up like he's about to enter the boxing ring, only instead of going up against another fighter, he's coming for the whole room with this wild P-Funk-driven swagger. The Funk Body Snatcher thing, it's straight out of George Clinton's playbook. I mean, growing up in my dad's record shop, I heard so much Parliament Funkadelic, those wild grooves that just, unspooled all over everything. Redman's not just talking funk as a sound, he's showing you he's carrying this whole black musical lineage on his back.
Absolutely. And what always strikes me is how deliberate he is about grounding himself in tradition, but he's also staking his own territory. In the early 90s, East Coast production was leaning so hard on those funk samples, James Brown, Bootsy, that whole family tree. But Redman's naming it. He's not hiding the source. In fact, he's almost clowning on the fact that other artists might just use the sample while he's embodying the funk. There's a difference, There's this sense of not just rebellion but celebration too, like P-Funk was back in the 70s.
Yeah, there's something theatrical about it. Like, he's not trying to be this silent assassin. He's out there wildin' and having fun with his identity. And man, when you stack him up next to cats from New York who are coming in with that minimalist, almost cold style, a Mobb Deep type, or even those gritty West Coast stories from Ice-T, Redman's just this whole different creature, A little raw, lots of jokes, never just one note.
And the humor is radical in itself, right? This isn't street tough posturing. He's got this brash, almost comic book vibe, taking the stage by storm. It's this blend, Roderick, like you said. History and a kind of joyful chaos. It's so distinctive. Speaking of distinct, let's talk about that "you can't puff or sniff it because I was born with it" line. I love how he flips expectations. Hip-hop gets so wrapped up in these debates. Is it drugs? Is it street life fueling the creativity? But Redman's like, no, my energy, this funk, it's innate. There's nothing synthetic about what I do. And he says it with a wink. Even though, let's be honest, he jokes about spliffs in a bunch of his other songs.
Yep, he's making a statement, and he's clowning a little at the same time. It's such a clever move, especially, when there was a lot of pressure from the media, politicians, anybody pointing fingers at rap music for all the wrong reasons, drugs, violence, and all that. Redman's basically saying, listen, I don't need that. The creativity isn't something you can get out of a bag or a bottle. It's literally in my DNA. Makes him feel twice as real, and honestly, kinda untouchable.
And it reinforces his authenticity. I know that gets thrown around a lot, but for Redman, it lands. He's playful, but also doubling down on being born funky. I think it makes him relatable too, because he doesn't separate himself from the culture or its vices. He's just taking ownership of where his particular magic comes from. It's a little bit subversive, honestly.
Yeah, there's always this wink, but it's also a challenge to everyone else. Like, can you bring that level of energy? No middleman, just you? Most folks can't. Not like that. Now, I'm too hot. Some say I got more juice than Tupac. Camille, this is where I think Redman's confidence is just full power. Not only is he shouting out Tupac, who, had just shot to serious fame with the movie Juice, but he's putting himself on that same level. He's not just dropping a random name for clout. He's actually referencing a peer who, by then, was the cultural zeitgeist. What strikes me is, this is one of the earliest peer-to-peer Tupac name checks, before it became kinda overdone,
Right. and it's more layered than just boasting about popularity. Juice wasn't just a movie title, it meant street credibility, that whole authority currency. Redman is suggesting, hey, I'm on that same trajectory. I might not be a movie star, but I got this sort of, well, magnetic energy, the kind people talk about. It's clear he knows where the culture's heading. I actually love how self-aware he sounds in that moment.
That crossover between film and music was exploding too. Like, hip-hop was becoming bigger than just beats and rhymes. Now you had artists acting, taking over the big screen, changing narratives in real time. Redman saying, I got juice too, maybe even more depending on who you ask. That's some futuristic vision right there.
And it holds up. That claim isn't just for 1992. It set the stage for the way rap would blur those lines between genres and media in the next decade. He's both reflecting on where things are and looking ahead. Pretty sharp, honestly. Okay, this next one. Strike a pose like Madonna. My mom's kicked me out because I did what I want to. I mean, there's so much going on in just 2 bars. He's parodying pop culture. Everyone knew Vogue. Everyone knew Madonna's whole image in the early 90s. But then he flips it. He's this irreverent, rebellious figure, literally getting kicked out at home for being too much himself.
Yeah, it's wild. Think about it. Back then, rap was still figuring out how to play with pop references. A lot of other MCs were worried about being taken seriously. Redman just leans right in. It's brash, it's funny, and by bringing your mom into it, it's instantly more personal, you know? You're right, Camille. He's showing that generational push-pull, the whole parents don't get why we're so into this vibe.
And there's that anti-authority streak, that not taking yourself too seriously. Redman's almost daring folks to laugh with him, not at him. He creates this space where he can be outlandish, but also there's a realness to it. Plenty of young people at the time were getting side-eyed at home for listening to this new hip-hop, or for wearing crazy clothes or whatever. It's personal, but also bigger than just him.
Yeah, and it keeps him unpredictable. You never know if he's about to get super silly or drop something that actually makes you reflect on your own family drama. It's true to life, and wildly entertaining too. Now we get to the surreal part. Listen, look. Oops, brother, where your eyes at? They're on the floor. Pick 'em up while I pour a lil funk down your brain, punk. I mean, this is some wild, almost comic book style imagery. He's not just battling somebody and talking violence. He's imagining his rhymes are so fierce, his opponent's eyes literally fall out. That's a whole new way to flex on somebody.
Yeah, it's a kind of, what would you call it, funkadelic absurdity. He's riffing on traditional battle rhymes, but making them almost magical or supernatural. Instead of shooting or beating someone, he's exercising them with music, pouring funk into your head, fixing you up, or maybe scrambling your brain. It's silly but hard at the same time. And again, humor is the weapon, not just aggression.
Exactly. And that's what makes him a trickster figure in hip-hop. Like, you got dudes trying to be the villain or the hero, but Redman, he's both, and neither. He's the one causing mischief, shifting the tone, reminding you not to get too comfortable with what you expect a battle to sound like.
That's innovation. He broadens what hard can mean in a track. Make it surreal, make it funny, keep it all rooted in the music. Nobody else was quite doing it like that. So let's pull it all together. For me, Redman's real gift was using funk not just as a background, but as a foundation for everything. He's building bridges from George Clinton's wildest ideas straight into 90s hip-hop, honoring what came before but spinning it up into something brand new. His style is rugged but vibrant.
Couldn't agree more. He's funny, a little wild-eyed, but that's the innovation. He shows you hardcore lyricism can live side by side with absurd visuals and wild energy. Comedic aggression, I think. That's the phrase. He's breaking down what could have been a wall of hardness in hip-hop, making it elastic, unpredictable.
And being in EPMD's hit squad, that gave him even more weight. East Coast was dominating with lyrical focus, but he carved out his own Newark lane, never fully imitating anybody else, not even inside that crew. He also redefined what a battle rhyme could sound like, less about hurting people, more about outwitting, out-imagining them. You see that later with artists like Busta Rhymes, Method Man, even Ludacris. Redman paved that path.
Yeah, Time for Sumaksion announced him as this chaotic, funky, fearless voice. He basically gave permission for wild imagination and rugged authenticity to coexist. If you're only into the super serious side of rap, you probably missed what he was doing. But honestly, he helped show rap could be deeper, funnier, weirder, and still real. That's a legacy.
It's wild how forward-thinking it still feels. So, that's going to do it for us this episode. There's plenty more verses and game-changing moments we want to break down in the future.
Definitely. Camille, always a pleasure. And to everyone listening, keep the funk alive, keep digging, and we'll see you next time on The Verse Effect. Peace.
Take care, y'all. Stay curious. Bye, Roderick.
It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.